What is up, Cahir Club? And welcome back to another CahirLIVE live stream. How goes it? I hope everybody's had a great week. We are at Friday, we made it through the main week, and that is pretty fun, I think. That is pretty good, that is pretty cool and good. And even if you haven't made it through the week, well, it's still Friday for you right now, which means you're almost there, and you can make it to the end. Like, the finish line in sight, you can get there. But yeah, how goes it? How goes it? Today, we are back with our Regice Shiny Hunt. Last time we Shiny Hunted Regice, we got up to 1, 2, 3 encounters. And that's kind of funny, I think. I would call that rather amusing. It rather tickles me. It's counting. And who doesn't love counting? This stream, we'll get another bunch of encounters, but I don't think we'll be getting the shiny. And here's why. I went to go visit my best friend yesterday. I helped him with a few raids, and then we realized you can't actually get Walking Wake unlocked until you've got 6-star raids unlocked. So he went to do that, as I just kind of like meandered around Paldea, in which I found a Paldean Tauros and a Voltorb. So I might have used up a bit too much of my luck there. And we might not be getting a Regice today, which would be a bit of a shame, I'll be completely real with you. But, did I see your newest art? I did not, I'll check it out after the stream. Yeah, I've been a little bit Genshin brain today. Because there's a new event in it. So I was, grinding away at that, because it's very cool. It's, got some of the Sumeru characters in Mondstadt. Which is funny, because they're characters from, like, later on, and they're referencing events that just haven't happened yet, in a character dynamic I'm meant to be familiar with, but I'm not. But I want them primos, so... But yeah, Finicky or Robo here, so I will not talk anyone's ear off about Genshin Impact for now. So... let's hop into things, I think. Yeah, you can see the 1, 2, 3, 4 up in the corner. Because that is our encounter number. I don't think it should be an issue, like, in the thousands. But I'm interested to see if it becomes an issue if we hit 10,000. I hope we don't. Because that's a lot of encounters for a Regice. But... all the same, let's hop into Loading Screen Simulator. Who doesn't love some good old loading screens? I'm personally a big fan of loading screens. I was thinking about it recently, like, because I saw a few people talking about it on the lines, as happens often. Of course, the 3DS had all those, like, funky themes and stuff. I remember I had the Latios and Latios one, because it played, like, the nighttime theme of Soaring, and, like, the Auraz Soaring theme. But the nighttime one. And I just think that's a nice song, and I was like, I want that on my menu all the time. But it's like a very noticeable difference, like, the startup time on the Switch in comparison to, like, the 3DS. Because, like, it takes a while for things to get running on the 3DS. And it's because of those themes. It's because it's got, like, a lot to load up on start. Which is why the Switch doesn't have anything like that. Because obviously they want you to hop into the game, rather than focus on, like, the menu. So that's why the Switch is a very, like, cut-back menu, which is very, very simple. But honestly, I think it's, like, effectively simple, you know? Like, it's easy to hop into a game. And that was their goal, which means they have achieved it. And I think it looks nice and clean as well. It doesn't look like some podgy mess. Everything is, like, very obvious as, like, where it is. There's no big amounts of dawdling, which I think is a very big strong suit. But I guess that's just what any piece of UI should do when push comes to shove. I don't know, because then the other thing that, like, I've been seeing occasionally recently is, like, the meme where it's like, they didn't have to go this hard with the soundtrack, and it's, like, Cosmo screaming at Timmy from Fairly Odd Parents. It's like, that's their job. I'm like, yeah. But I think it's fine to compliment people when they do their job well, you know? I guess they did have to go that hard. I guess that's more the criticism of it. But, like, I feel like people don't mean things as literally in, like, those ways nowadays. Like, I feel like exaggeration is, like, a very big thing on the internet at the moment, you know? At the moment, has always been, like, a big thing. In fact, exaggeration has always just been a general thing hovering around. So I don't really know why I'm saying it like that. But you know what I mean. Exaggeration, important. Although maybe I'm just overanalyzing a meme. But who doesn't love a good bit of meme overanalysis? A slice of cheese, that is a good point one. Although you have put a carrot emoticon next to it. Are you saying cheese and carrot is a good combination? I mean, when you think about it, you could put a little carrot in the cheese holes. And then you'd have something that Bugs Bunny and Mickey Mouse would love. You know. What's wrong with my suggestion? I think it's a good one. Who doesn't love carroty cheese? I mean, you're just combining carrot cake and cheesecake, but taking out the cake part of it, you know? Genius. The cake cancels out. You're dividing the cheesecake by carrot cake. The cake cancels out, which means you just have cheese and carrot. Do not the cheese. You lactose intolerant? May I suggest tolerating it? I really don't get what hating people without toes has to do with drinking milk. But personally, I think if you don't have toes, you're just as valid as people who do. And I think it's rude to imply anything else. I'm like thumping my chest in like solidarity, you know, to people without toes. I got cookies today. I have cookies most days actually. Like cookies like a weekly thing. Some nice cookies from the supermarket with the groceries. Always slaps. But today I've got them with me. Because I thought, why not? Why not have them with me right now? Ballin', isn't it? I fucking love cookies. They are white chocolate cookies. It's funny, because they're baked in store. So, like, you can tell when a different... Like, my dad does the weekend shop at Sainsbury's. He's a Sainsbury's kind of man. Like, you can tell when when he's been to, like, a different one, because the cookies are different texture. A man of quality, indeed. Morrison's? Nah. Sainsbury's. But yeah, like, sometimes they're, like, really crunchy, kind of, like, smaller in circumference. And, like, sometimes they're a little, like, softer. I was going to describe it as wetter, but I thought that's not, like, a good descriptor for a cookie. You do not want to have, like, a cookie be described as wet. Like, a wet cookie does not sound like a good thing. If someone was like, hey, want a wet cookie? I would say no. A moist cookie. A moist cookie. Yeah, no, it's squelchy. That's not a descriptor that should ever be used for a cookie. I'm gonna be real. A cake? I think it would be interesting for a cake. I feel like you could get away with it, you know? You'd, like, raise some eyebrows. Some people would be like, is that good? But, like, cookies, do you know... I just remembered. I was thinking about this yesterday because I had brownies. So it's like, in my RAM. This thought is in my RAM. I had it recently, so I can have it again now. It's easy to call back on. I don't need to, like, use much brain power to call back on it, you know? I don't think this would dox me. I don't know why it would dox me, but it shouldn't. But yeah, in secondary school, they used to sell brownies in the cafeteria. They used to sell brownies along with other foods and such. And said brownies were interesting because I don't know if there was much chocolate in them, but the main thing they were advertised for was being made with beetroot. Like beetroot, like the stuff that turns your piss red. And it was actually pretty good. Like, I'm gonna be real. Like, they tasted like good brownies. Like, they weren't bad or anything. It was just weird to be like, yeah, these are made with beetroot. These are beetroot brownies, and you know what? They kind of slap. I'm gonna have to find a recipe for that one day, because like, that's like one of your 5 a day. Horrific, lovely. The back pedal. Slappant. I just think it's interesting to see foods made with weird things, you know? Like, I wanna know who turned around at, like, the brownie factory and were like, what if we made brownies with, hear me out, beetroot? And everyone was like, that sounds like a great idea, boss. Let's get right on that. And then they did it, and it was good. And then they managed to sell that idea to other people. Then they all killed him. Although actually I can envision how they could have sold that idea to a school. Although to be fair, my school didn't do like bad food. Like my secondary school's food was like actually pretty decent from what I remember. Although to be fair, I went to secondary school like after Jamie Oliver did his school thing, where he, like, tried to... I feel like Jamie Oliver's done some bad things recently. I, like, feel it in my guts, but I cannot remember what the fuck Jamie Oliver did. You think most of your school's food was made of people? That's an interesting take. Were students mysteriously disappearing? Or did they very clearly advertise one of the main ingredients as Soylent Green? And did you and a ragtag team of students go to discover the secret plot lurking beneath the surface? It just tasted like people. What? How did you know? How is this a line you can draw? I know the answer to that question. Do I? Oh, are you one of the people who, like, eats the little, like, flaps of skin? What are they called? Like, by your fingernails? Like, you can, like, peel them off if you wanted. And, like, sometimes it looks like people really hurt themselves with that. But like the little bits of skin there, just like eat them instead of like ripping them off. You're just a straight up cannibal. Okay, cool. That's a lot more normal. It was crazy how they shot those guys out of ships. Like, I guess that must have been effective. Because, like, on one hand, if they hit the side of a ship hard enough, they'd crack through the hull and, like, make it sink. But on the other hand, if they, like, landed on the deck or something, there'd now be a cannibal loose on the ship. And that would be a bad thing. Because I bet they all, like, just rushed at and ate people, you know? And I think that would have been terrifying. Also, you just caught your second shiny ever. Yo, what was it? What was the shiny? Yeah, shiny hunting in Scarlet Violet is good. And easy. It's quick, it's easy, and it's free. Makuhita. Yo. That is cool. I love Makuhita. Makuhita, little red boy indeed. Little sandbag guy, you know? Do you think he's actually filled with sand? Like, do you think inside Makuhita is actually sand, or do you think, like, it's just insides? He looks like a cereal mascot. Is the cereal wet sand? Is the cereal sand with milk? Just a bowl of sand with milk. So it's a wet sand, but like it's milky wet sand. I think if I got served that, I would become physically aggressive. Do you put milk before your sand? Oh no. He eats sand, I bet. I could imagine that. Why does Makuhita appear? I feel like it's more on mountains than beaches. Like, I could imagine that though. Although to be fair, I eat sand as well. It's good. Me at the beach committing milk-based war crimes. Hell yeah. I think it would be a fun activity to replace all ocean water with milk. In fact, all water. I just remembered. The other day, my friend posited a hypothetical of... He wonders how different society would be in the situation where, instead of water coming out of our taps, it was orange juice. Just orange juice. If milk makes bones stronger, then your sandcastle will be invincible. That is a good point. That is a good point. Like, when you turn on a tap, instead of water, it's orange juice. Because then, like, if you wanted a drink, you'd just kind of have to have orange juice instead of water, you know? I think it would cause a lot more issues. They need help. Not gonna deny that. Although he works out, so I feel like restraining him would be difficult. To help him, of course. Alright. Subliminally correct him in his sleep, oh god. Make him fear juice. I have to enunciate that. For obvious reasons. That would be a bad life, I think. Being scared of that, you know? Like, how can you live life without apple juice? Apple juice is too good, you know? To, like, be scared of. Like, how empty of a life would you have to live if you're scared of apple juice? Or you just can't stand up one day and be like, I want some apple juice. And go and get a glass of apple juice. Personally, I think that would be just not a fun time. Is squash involved in that? Apple juice tastes a little like pee, and you don't know how you know this. I don't know, I've drunk plenty of apple juice and plenty of pee, and like, it's only the colour, I think. That's like the only real similarity between the two things. So unless like you could taste colour, then I don't believe that. I think my brain's going in slow motion today, because I tried to formulate a thought, and it was just, like, slowly chugging along in my head. As I try to think about anything to say about peeing in bottles. I think I've done that, like, once. It's an interesting... Monday fever. Monday fever. Exactly that one. You're so right. Monday fever. On Friday. But it's just like Mario Kart Monday, really. Like, Friday sometimes has elements of Monday when you think about it. You long for the sensation of pissing in a place you shouldn't. That is fair. Do you want me to help you sneak into the White House? Oh shit, I did it! I got on another list! Sometimes I say things, and then I realize, oh, yeah, no, everything I say is now being monitored. I just put myself on that, American terrorist watch list that's, like, got millions of people on it. Just absolutely millions. Which, I guess, clearly shows how ineffective it is. Unless the revolution is happening. Alright. I'm going to take a drink. I'm not sure I managed to wash all the soap out of my bottle before I used it. Gonna be real. Like, it's got a bit of a weird aftertaste. I'm not sure if it's soap, or if just because I've got sugar-full Vimto this time instead of sugar-free Vimto. Because, like, there is a vague flavor difference between the two, you know? Now my insides are clean. That is a good point, actually. That's a good point. Which means I don't have to take a shower today, when you think about it, because I've cleaned my insides, so... So that's the benefit, at least. Do you think if we ever had other bits of protruding bone, we'd, like, brush them like teeth? What are your insides if not just your outside innards? Exactly. Precisely my exact train of thought. And yeah, cool. That's good. That's good. That's interesting. Alright. We are chugging through these Regice. I can't believe I actually got, like... Okay, so to be clear, because I've only posted this in the Discord. So for anybody out of the loop, I got a shiny Polday and Tauros yesterday while I was hanging out with my friend. And I'm impressed I noticed it. Because, like, I overanalyze every herd of Tauros I see. Like, whenever I pass a herd of Tauros, I'm immediately just, like, I turn around and just stare at it. I turn around and look, it's just like, is it? Is this what I think it is? Is there a shiny here? And there never is, except yesterday when there was. My friend, he just looked over my shoulder and was like, Cahir, how did you see that? How did you know that was there? And maybe I should get, like, a degree in Tauros observing. Maybe I should get a degree, to be fair. I think CahirLIVE has like, a ring to it. And honestly, like, medical doctor would be a good one. Like, just, like, stereotypical doctor. Because, like, then you could read it differently as, like, Dr. Live. You know? And you'd be like, oh, that's great. Because, like, if a doctor operated on me and he was called Dr. Live, I'd be like, wow, this guy was born for this job, I'm gonna be fine. As long as I'm in this guy's care, everything's gonna go okay, you know? Even though, I would have used, artificial intelligence to write all of my medical dissertation. And we'll still be using it to tell me what to do in any given situation. You fool, Dr. Live is just Dr. Evil backwards. It is. Oh. So... I've always wanted to meet Austin Powers. I can live with this. I can live with that. Austin Powers is cool. Love that guy. I have to fact check something real quick. Wait a second. Mike Myers also plays Dr. Evil. I didn't realize he did that. And yeah, Austin Powers, Dr. Evil, and Shrek all have the same actor. All three of them. All played by the same person. And I like that a lot. Wait, did Polday have a regional rodent? No, it had a pig. Polday has a pig. That's weird and you don't doubt it in the slightest. It's true. Because Austin Powers is played by Michael Myers. who is Shrek. What are pigs if not rodents that are pigs? That's true, actually. That's a good point. I don't know, those little pigs. I feel like they could pass off as a rodent, you know? Those, like, tiny ones. Those little guys. I feel like I could look at that and be like, whoa. He's kind of a rodent, you know? I mean, like... I feel like pigs do kind of have, like, rodent vibes. Pigs are, like, rodent cool. They're not. They're not rodents. They're way too big, you know? But, like, they have, like, that vibe. They have that feeling, you know? Me meeting someone for the first time. Whoa, he's kind of a rodent. Yeah, no, I do that often. I mean, some people do have those vibes, you know? I think rodent should be a more broad term, you know? Like, if I see, like, a pothole, if I see a pothole on the street, I feel like that could be a rodent. A rodent. But perish. Yeah, that's fair. No, I won't. Spite only makes me stronger. But I won't slate the reaction. I've had this Entei coin, like, from the TCG on my desk. And I'm pretty sure it's a little bit weighted. It feels uneven, you know? Like, I want to know if, like, TCG coins are, like, actually weighted or not, you know? I guess you can only really do that on, like, a big sample size by, like, flipping a coin, like, 6 gazillion times over and over again to, like, see how many times... Like, see if it evens out to 50-50. Because if it doesn't even out to 50-50, then obviously it's weighted. That, or, like, you got really lucky. What's, like, the margin of error of coin tossing? That's my question. Because, like, there's gotta be. Like... How low are the odds of getting, like, a 60 to 40% coin ratio if you, like, flip a coin, like, 1,000 times? Maths. Not even once. I say that, but my counter is just the calculator app. It's useful. It does its job. Who needs any high-tech counter when I can just use the calculator that comes with the PC? Genius. I am ahead of my time. Alright. I used to use a bike lock. Oh, not a bike lock, sorry. Suitcase lock. Bike lock would be a lot bigger. Do you know what's something that isn't illegal? Putting a bike lock on someone's bike. What you really want then is to have a second smaller bike lock and put it, like, obviously nearby, where there's obviously, like, a signifier that that key... No, wait, I've not mentioned the key yet. Yeah, like, smaller bike lock nearby with a key on it. Make it obvious that that key fits in the first bike lock. So if they can get that key off, they can unlock their bike. But the key's also on a bike lock. Maybe one wasn't off the mark with that whole live is evil, live is evil backwards, you know? I'd have a good villain arc, I think. I'd have a good villain arc. I could make a good villain, you know? Like, if I had access to, like, wacky technology, I would very quickly sink into a Heinz Doofenshmirtz-like role. I don't have, like, anywhere near as tragic of a backstory as Doofenshmirtz does, but I just think it'd be funny, you know? Like, just as weird schemes, but without the motivation, which I guess makes me less sympathetic than Heinz Doofenshmirtz. But to be fair, Heinz Doofenshmirtz is very sympathetic, so I think that's fine. I love that guy. Doofenshmirtz Evil Incorporated. After hours. Alright. I was thinking about this the other day. I think the biggest issue with, like, smartphones and their evolution is, like, you get a lot less, like, gadgets and gizmos nowadays, you know? You get a lot less, like, little doodads and doohickeys. Because they just make whatever they were gonna make, an app. And I think that's, like, made society a lot drier. You know? I think we took mobile phones too far. I think we need to go back a few steps. Because who doesn't love a good little, like, gizmo, you know? A cool little thing. Like, they would make Tamagotchis nowadays, because it'd be like a feed pet app, you know? Abysmal. Why do everything on the light brick when you could give me a new light brick, a doodad? Precisely! A thingy-mabob. Love me a good thingy-mabob. But no, we are in a world without them nowadays. That is a tragedy. Beyond compare. Like, they would make the Pokewalker nowadays. Because they have Pokemon Go, honestly. That's probably why they would. Although they kind of would. Because they kind of... Well, they didn't make the Pokewalker, actually. They made a thing that you can tap. And it'll catch Pokemon for you. But also they did make that an app on your Apple Watch. Well, on, like, a smartwatch. I still can't get over the Pokemon Plus Plus. The Pokeball Plus Plus, sorry. Like, why? They could have, like, given it some other, like, short, sweet, but furthering verb, you know? But they just went with plus again, and made it a word this time. Like, have you seen the logo for it? Drunk Troller, hello, how goes it? I hope your week's been going well. I was just complaining about the new Pokeball Plus Plus. Like, I'd even be, like, vaguely more tolerative of it. I might not have even, like, thought about the name. If it was just like 2 plus signs together at the end of it. But no, it's like the plus sign and the word plus. Like, I want to see who designed that, and I want a private word with them. To figure out what inspired them to do that. And also I'm going to point out once again that why was the Pokemon Sleep, like, physical add-on, not a plush? Like, that would have been cool as hell. In fact, I want to see someone, like, make that. Take, like, the Pokeball plus, and, like, put it in, like, the belly of, like, a Pikachu plush or something. Because that would be cool. Because, like, the point is you, like, keep an extra bedside table. Why keep an extra bedside table if it's in your bed? Genius. The word is murder. I wouldn't go that far. Death is too good for them. Right. I'm surprised they didn't do any more with, like, the Pokeball Joy-Con as well. Like, that was only for Let's Go, more or less, right? Can you use that with Sword and Shield? I'm not sure if you can. I don't know. I know, like, one of the developers of Sword and Shield is, like, on record saying that the control system of Sword and Shield is so simple because he envisioned, like, you could eat it playing a pizza. And you know what? That's valid. That's smart. Like, I'm not going to complain about the way Scarlet Violet does things, because it's like a very intuitive menu with, like, a Pokedex pop-up button, which really helps further the idea of, like, catching them all. You could eat it playing a pizza. Did I? Look. Reminds me of that story of the guy who, like, was skipping stones while eating a sandwich, and then he threw his sandwich into the lake and ate the spoon and took a bite into the stone. You did indeed eat your Switch. It was too intuitive. That's fair. I mean, like, it's annoying. Because, like, I would eat my Switch, but I'm not gonna. Because it doesn't taste as good as the cartridges, you know? Like, they made those cartridges taste delicious. I beat a game. I 100% a game, and then I eat the cartridge. I just eat it. Delicious. I don't know who they hired to make such a lovely flavor, but they achieved it. Like, odds are we will get whatever's coming after the Switch pretty soon. Because, like, today is the 6-year anniversary of the Nintendo Switch. And Breath of the Wild by extension, which is pretty cool. Like, that is over half a decade of the Nintendo Switch. We're getting a new system soon. And it better have flavored cartridges again. There's no downside. Even if they go to, like, discs again. I want it to taste. I feel like they wouldn't, though, at this point. I feel like they'd just continue with cartridges. Because it makes them stand out. Because, like, Xbox and PlayStation use, like, discs. Although I wouldn't be surprised if, there's, like, a version of it that doesn't have, like, a slot for cartridges. I'll be getting the one with the slot, though, because I prefer having my games physically. Because, like, it means if, like, I do, like, drop my Switch in a lake, I've still got all the games. Except the one that was in the Switch at the time. And Fire Emblem Three Houses, which I downloaded onto the Switch, but that's not the point. Jelly donuts, but with the code. Exactly that. That's a genius idea. They should hire you one. I don't know, yeah, I don't like the shift that's been going on to, like, everything being digital. Like, it makes sense, but, like, shit like the Nintendo eShop on the 3DS and Wii U is shutting down this month, which means that some games you just won't be able to get anymore. Like Fire Emblem Fates Revelation. Well, that's a good one. That's, like, a good thing that you can't get that one. But, like, there are other games that you just can't get anymore because of that. And that's kind of fucked up. If you drop your Switch, you literally got, just got Monster Hunter and Breath of the Wild. Good thing you surgically fused it with your hands. Like, the whole Switch, or just the Joy-Cons? Because, like, one wrong move and, like, it falls out. In fact, I hope you surgically infused the Switch with your hands. Because if you surgically infused the Joy-Cons as well, then, like, you can't get new ones in case of drift. And that's a bad thing. That doesn't sound fun at all. In fact, you know what? If the next console doesn't have flavored cartridges, it better have no drift. Because Joy-Con drift is legitimately one of the worst things. Like, again, when I was at my friend's yesterday, I didn't take my Pro Controller. Well, it's not really a Pro Controller. I don't know what the name of this controller is, but I wouldn't really call it Pro, because it's a wired controller, which means it doesn't have, like, what's it called? Gyroscope and stuff. It doesn't buzz when I do things. But, AWP controller. No, it doesn't look anything like a seal, so I don't see why its name would be a seal sound. But, yeah, no, I was reminded how bad the drift is on my Switch. And, like, I think, yeah, I've replaced one of the Joy-Cons. Like, one of the Joy-Cons started to drift, so I got one new one. But then the other one and the new one I got also both started to drift. So I just figured it was a bit of an uphill battle and I should just give up. Because, like, do I just live with the fact that my Joy-Cons are going to drift? Or spend 60 quid a year on a new controller when I could spend that on, like, a video game, or a meal out with friends, or Dungeons and Dragons dice. Or cookies. Hell yeah, cookies. I'm gonna have a cookie in a moment, actually. Because I think I might go all-in-one cookie dice. Dude, that's smart, because then after a D&D session, you can eat them. Like, you roll them all into, like, the tray over and over again as they, like, pick up all like, the grime. And then you eat them at the end. And contract disease. Like, you know when, like, you roll the dice and it just rolls off the other side of the table? And then it, like, because it's like a cookie, it would, like, pick up, like, all the hair and stuff on the floor. Scrumptious, am I right? Anyway, yeah, I'm gonna go to the toilet quickly. I would highly recommend staying tuned, because we will be continuing the hunt after I am back. And we are back. Back again. Oh, I'm on top chat, not live chat, I just realized. I hope I have not missed any messages. Switching to live chat not bring all the messages I've missed up? I'm now realizing that it might not. Because I saw that Worm had one message in which they cast, and it's still not on my screen. Which, is devastating, because I did not want to know what that was. I did want to read that personally, but, cuss word. Stop saying cuss words, guys! That's gonna be the, owner of YouTube in a few months. Bet. If you say a cuss word in a YouTube video, I think it's gonna be age restricted by the end of the year. Which means I'm gonna have to come up with a bunch of new swear words. Although, honestly, I like what RC Games is doing. YouTube is now a cuss. Exactly, yeah, no. That is exactly what RC Games is doing. He's, like, whenever he swears, he censors it with him saying YouTube. And I enjoy that greatly as a concept. And I think if YouTube does ban swearing on its platform entirely, I will start doing that as well. I don't think it's going to make them start, like, having to censor their own name, but... Like, I don't think they're going to do that, but I think it'd be funny at least. Because, like... Apologies for the rustling, I'm having a cookie now. I have waited long for this moment. Hell yeah, cookies. What the hell? The future where they fuck. I can see that on my live chat, on my, like, stream chat, but I can't see it in my live chat. Is YouTube censoring live chat now as well or something? So I hope not. Maybe my feared future is closer than I realized. Who knows? Who does? But I am in fear. Because it's gonna happen, I bet. I feel like they're not gonna do NFTs. Because this guy was in support of YouTube NFTs. I feel like they're not gonna do it at this point. Because, like... What is it called? I feel like they're falling out of fashion to the point where, like, it wouldn't be that profitable. But... this guy seems to, be more on board with, like, the whole brand side of the platform than the creator side, so... I'm not confident. Right. Oh yeah, some rumors, some talking's been going around. And it looks like we might be getting a second Detective Pikachu movie. Which I would be very down for. Although I hope if we do get one, it's not set in Rhyme City again. Because, I don't know. Rhyme City was like a cool location for the first one. But I want to see like a more general Pokemon world, you know? I want to see like proper Pokemon trainers and concepts and such. I'm also interested to see how that would go because like, of course, the first Detective Pikachu, spoilers, but Mewtwo fused Ryan Reynolds and his Pikachu partner into, like, one being. So is that going to happen again? Or would Detective Pikachu be a completely different Pikachu detective who can talk for a completely different reason? Or maybe, like, the same reason, but, like, a vaguely different ideation behind it. Like, what's the plot of the Detective Pikachu games? I don't know what the plot of the Detective Pikachu games was, honestly. No, yeah, I don't think it was the same plot as the movie. From what I understand. And it's still only one game, even though they said they're making a sequel. Like, I'm pretty sure Detective Pikachu 2 was announced around the same time as Pokemon Sleep. So... who knows if we're getting it? Who knows if, it'll suddenly reappear like Pokemon Sleep, though. But honestly, I wonder if the only reason Pokemon Sleep actually, like, made it, because, like, a lot of people were still talking about it. Like, even after every, like, Pokemon Presents, there was, like, a large portion of people being like, no Pokemon Sleep this presents? Like, where is that? I feel like people aren't really doing the same thing for Detective Pikachu 2. I think it was because people were more interested to see how Pokemon Sleep would turn out because it was a new concept. I feel like Detective Pikachu 2 would still have a lot of fans, but, like, people were more eager to see Sleep because... yeah. Pokemon Sleep Deprivation. That's going to be the opposite of me when Pokemon Sleep comes out, dude. I'm going to sleep so much more to 100% that game. Like... do you think Pokemon Sleep would monitor, like, your coma? Like, if you fell into a coma, do you think Pokemon Sleep would monitor that? Because, like, maybe I should go into, like, a medically induced coma to do better on Pokemon Sleep, you know? They don't actually looked into Pokemon Sleep at all. What is it? Basically, their, like, pitch is they want to give trainers a reason to look forward to wake up in the morning. Give people a reason to look forward to waking up in the morning. And I'm down for that. That sounds like a good thing. And, like, it monitors your sleep patterns and assigns you a sleeping partner. Like a Pokemon partner. Not to sleep with. Well, yes, to sleep, but not in that way. Don't fuck the Pokemon. I don't really know what else it does other than that, I'm gonna be real. I just know that it, like, assesses your sleeping style. Vaporeon, no! Stop it! Bad. Bad worm. Do not fuck the Pokemon. Don't. No. Don't. Although, I wouldn't mind being assigned Lusamine as my Pokemon sleeping partner if you know what I'm saying up top. Damn, we're almost at 1,300. But yeah, I'm interested to see, like, more about it. And, Horngi. Oh, and... is that an M? No. You're saying that like you weren't bit. Your Vaporeon. But yeah, I'm looking forward to it coming out. Pokemon Sleep will be very cool. And I am very looking forward to it. But again, I would really like a home console spin-off at some point again soon. A departure from the mobile stuff. Wait. Okay, so people wanting a black and white remake, that's like a very like universally accepted thing, yeah? Do you know what got an interesting re-release? Professor Layton, which they released on the phone. They released on mobiles. Like all of the Professor Layton games. Maybe not all of them actually, maybe just the DS ones. I'm not sure if they re-released the 3DS ones. But like there are a few of the Professor Layton games on the phone now. Imagine if they released Pokemon Black and White like on phone. Just like bypass people wanting to emulate entirely and just release it on mobile. That would slap, I think. I'd be so down for that. Felix, hello, how goes it? I hope your week's been going well. You hope not? You don't want ads for the gyms? Well, it wouldn't be free to play. I don't think the Professor Layton ones are free to play. Like, you'd still have to, like, pay money for it. It'd probably be, like, less. But Mario Kart Wave 4 in less than a week. Oh, I saw that. I saw that. That will be very cool. I will definitely be doing Mario Kart Monday earlier this month, I think. To do some Mario Karting with the new courses. Because that'll be very cool. And also the release of Birdo. I might end up getting the DLC at some point. Maybe we'll see. I don't know, depends who the final characters are. So I'm not really, you only know like 3 out of 8 of them this time, so extra exciting. Understandable. Yeah, I watched the trailer, and I don't know, maybe I'm just like dumb, but the course quality looks a lot better, especially than like the first wave in this one. Like, it looks like they've actually like put effort into like making the courses look nicer for Switch. You know, yeah, exactly. Which I'm excited about. Maybe like on the Switch they'll feel like proper Mario Kart 8 courses. Because I'm gonna be real, some of these have not. Like, you can tell that they just kind of ported it from Tour, and it was kind of disappointing. Like, especially with the quality of some of the Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, with the Mario Kart 8 courses. I'm looking forward to Wario Stadium, though. I was watching a video the other day, and I didn't realize Wario Stadium is like a very rare case in the franchise of a course with a weird amount of laps. Like, not counting like the 1-lap ones and the 3-lap ones. Kind of like in lieu of Baby Park having 7, Wario Stadium only has 2. Hopefully they don't give it a Nintendo 64 Rainbow Road treatment and just make it 1, though. Because I think that would be lame. The Mud and Waluigi Stadium looked really good, yeah. I don't know, I properly noticed during, DK Mountain? The DS Donkey Kong one. On, like, the side of a mountain. Because, like, that was one of my favourite courses on DS, so I'm looking forward to seeing that again. I'm very excited. DK Summit from Wii, is it? I thought it was DS. Or am I thinking of a different... Oh, it's a different course. Oh, okay. I thought it was the, DS slope one. But, fair enough. So I want that one back as well. That was a fun course. And Luigi's Mansion. I want Luigi's Mansion. Remember what I'm talking about, just not the name. You know, yeah, I remember what I'm talking about, but not the name as well. I remember there was like that big cannon in it, I think. Was there? Am I just thinking of DK Pass? And Airship Fortress, yes, exactly. Too many good tracks. Nah, yeah. I hope we get Wario Shipyard from 3DS as well. There were some good 3DS tracks that I want added. I think would be cool to have. Are we getting another Bowser's Castle as well? Because, like, I feel like there aren't any Bowser's Castles in, like, there's one Bowser's Castle in Mario Kart 8, and it's just a new one. Unless I'm, like, mistaken. I wouldn't mind, like, the return of a Bowser's Castle from, like, another game. I guess even Super Nintendo Entertainment System, SNES. But I'd still kind of be disappointed because those maps weren't exactly, like, detailed. But it'd be fun to have. Because I remember those ones, like, they're basic, but I enjoyed them on the DS and 3DS. Like, although they're not that, like, detailed, I still found them fun. Bum, ba-da-bum, bum, ba-bum, bum, bum, ba-ba-bum, bum, bum. Okay. But yeah, I feel like just like a more interesting style if they're gonna like do one-to-one remakes of the games. I'd rather that we get like of Pokemon games. I'd rather we get like re-releases on like mobile or Switch with like vague changes to supplement the fact we don't have the touchscreen anymore. But I feel like Black and White would be like one of the easier games to do that with, because like Black and White's touchscreen was the C gear, which you could just easily make into like a bag item if you even wanted to include it in the same way that is in like the games, you know? I guess Entralink would be good on mobile as well. Would be interesting to have. And it's not like mobile doesn't already have like home, which means you could just communicate with home. Dude, I never thought I'd be like advocating for a Black and White mobile port, but here I am. I'm honestly surprised we didn't get Red and Blue for the Switch, though. In, like, the recent presents. With them announcing Game Boy games. Like, I feel like that's gotta happen sooner rather than later, right? Like, unless they're planning something else. Maybe they're, like, waiting for, to, like, get Stadium compatibility working. Because, at least I hope that's the case. Because, obviously, like, Stadium with just, rental Pokemon sounds like hell. I've not really had much experience with Stadium, but, like, from what I've been hearing, the rental Pokemon just aren't ready for, aren't, like, good for Stadium. Especially, like, the main core of it. So I guess that would be, like, a cool thing to do, and maybe that's why it's, like, not come out yet, but I don't know, I don't really have high hopes on that front. I feel like they might just be being stingy. Because I feel like the Pokemon Company are good at being stingy with their game releases. Because it took ages to get, like, Red and Blue released on Virtual Console on the 3DS. And then a while after that for Gold and Silver. So I think that would be rather fitting. Wouldn't put it past them, yeah. It'd be cool if we had a stadium-like challenge in that second wave of the DLC, though, actually. Because, like, that Blueberry Academy looks like it's trying to big itself off as some, like, legendary battling school or something like that. Like, maybe the only reason you're able to transfer to it is because you're, like, a Poldean champion. And although it does also seem like the two kids from the DLC, like, they're in both parts, so I'm guessing they're from the Blueberry Academy. Which I guess would make sense. I'm interested to see if the Blueberry Academy is just going to be the Academy, though. Because, like, obviously... I feel like the first wave has got to have, like, an island or something based on a part of Japan or something that you'll be able to, like, explore. And that's, like, where the festival takes place, where the school trip takes place, and then there's, like, more around it where you can catch, like, nice Pokemon. And I think it'd be cool to have, like, a small area, a smaller, like, open world area, because I bet it'd be, like, very compact and dense with, like, cool areas and features and stuff. Kind of like the Crown Tundra, which I think is definitely, like, the best wild area. So I'd like to see something like that. But it makes me wonder if, like, the second wave of the DLC is going to have more open world stuff itself. Because it surprised me if it was just the school, because it's also adding more Pokemon, so... But I guess we will be finding out, eh? Alright. $1,300 encounters, though. Yo. Right. Lucky number 1,300. Yeah. I mean, like, 13 is such a lucky number that builders just don't include it in some buildings. You saw something saying Terrapagos is shaped like Paldea. I do wonder how big that thing really is. I feel like, I don't know, it's got, like, kind of small energy to me. But I guess it might not be. But yeah, no, honestly, I kind of brushed off the whole Crater of Paldea looks like a turtle shell, and then Mesagoza's its head. But, like, maybe I was incorrect with that assessment. Maybe that was not a correct way of viewing things. But I guess that's pretty interesting. An interesting connection. And I can see how a disc was, like, misconstrued. A turtle is misconstrued as a disc. You're envisioning Tortuga's size, but I guess we'll find out. It's same. I don't know why it's got is small energy to me. Maybe it'll, like, have some form change, to be fair. Because, like, it looks like it's, like, the third legendary of the game. Even though it's obviously got no connection to, Koraidon and Miraidon, because Koraidon and Miraidon are past and future Pokemon. Paradox Pokemon. Because of its proportions. Yeah, no, that's fair. But yeah, all, like, third version Pokemon always have that extra form since Giratina. So maybe it does have, like, a final big super duper Terastallization form. Maybe it accesses it whenever it Terastallizes or something. That'd be cool. Who knows, maybe we'll get, like, the Blueberry Academy and an extra area to Area 0, which would be interesting. But I guess that would be, like, are they going to add 2 new story parts there? Like, one after the way home. And then That's a thought. I wonder when the story quests will actually be accessible, because you could do the Sword and Shield DLC before you beat the game. So I'll be interested to see if, like, these new DLCs will, like, be accessible whenever, or if they'll have to make you beat the game first. I don't know, I feel like Pokemon as a franchise doesn't tend to do the same thing multiple times. Well, okay, I guess it does do the same thing multiple times, but, like, from generation to generation, I feel like it tries to mix things up to a degree. Do things at least a little bit differently. Especially nowadays. Like, how Heart Gold, Soul Silver, Auraz, and then BDSP and Legends Arceus are all different ways of doing remakes, you know? So I wouldn't be surprised if they try to take a different approach to this DLC, and maybe it will be, like, limited. And it'll be like an, after you've done this, you get access to this. I feel like the Blueberry Academy's gotta be a thing that's, like, post-game, though. Because then that would be, like, a nice, sound reason for why you're transferring there. I guess a transfer would kind of only work at the end of the game, huh? I'm interested to see how it's all going to play out, though, but I guess we have to wait until fall for that. I'm interested to see how, like, if we'll get many more Paradox Pokemon, though. Because, like, my bet is, at least, we'll get 4 more Paradox Pokemon. Entei, Raikou, Cobalion, Terrakion. Maybe 6? Like, and, like, 1 for, like, the fusions of each. That would be a cool, like, thing of, like, making it like a Quadrio. But I guess we'll find out on that note. But I can imagine it being, like, either... What's it called? Brain. No, yeah, I could envision them, like, having more raid events leading up to the DLC release that are like the other legendary dogs and Swords of Justice. Beasts, legendary beasts. I found out recently that the legendary beasts are actually definitely based on cats, on big cats. Entei's a lion, Raikou's a tiger, Suicune's a leopard, but they were given more ambiguous features in general, but what they're based upon is big cats. They were made more ambiguous after, so I feel like Legendary Beasts is probably the most fitting name for them, because they're not really meant to be associated with any particular animal, but if you're going to associate them with any particular animal, they're cats. And that's just a fact. We have to do something else interesting with the Paradox forms again, like I'm Valiant or the Dawn Funds. That's fair. I'd be very down with that. I think the idea of like having legendary trios for like fused into one Pokemon, I think that's a really cool idea. But I guess we'll see. But I hope we do get some more Paradox mons in the post game. That would be very cool, I think. Trying to remember if Pokemon played their entire hand at the DLC announcement in Sword and Shield as well. Because obviously, like, in terms of new Pokemon for the DLC, we got Kubfu and the Urshifus, Calyrex, and the horses, and the birds, and the Regis. I'm trying to remember if they, like, announced all those immediately, or, like, if we had to wait over time to learn about that all. But I guess we'll probably find out more of that more in the summertime, I'm betting. I bet there'll be, like, another announcement in the summertime. Totally forgot about those horses. I mean, to be fair, they're, like, very closely associated with Calyrex. Like, they feel like less of their own Pokemon, and more of, like, the backpacks to Calyrex, you know? Like, they don't really exist of their own merit. They exist to be fused with Calyrex. So I feel kind of bad for them for that. Especially since they have cool designs. I really like Spectria's design. I think Galastria works better with Calyrex because, like, the colors blend together better. But, how did I remember the Ghost-type one's name and then forget it within the span of, like, 2 seconds? Spectria. Yeah, I think Spectria looks cool. Do they even have, like, good stats? Because, like, obviously, like, they kind of ended up immediately being fused with Calyrex, and it's staying that way. Because, like, Calyrex fused is really good. Because it's got, like, cool abilities. But, I don't know, I remember when people were really underwhelmed by Calyrex. Like, I don't get that, like, at all. Like, I think a Pokemon using another Pokemon as a steed is such a cool idea, you know? Like, and I'm glad they didn't just go with, like, the regular fusion idea that the last few gens proposed, and instead, like, propose something new and unique and interesting. Which is a Pokemon riding upon another Pokemon. Because, like, we've not really seen that before, you know? Especially, like, in a way that you can use. But everyone was just kind of like, oh, that's dumb. But no, I think it's a really cool idea. And I hope they have, like, more interesting ideas like that in the DLC of these games. That is a thought, though. The fact that, every game since Black and White 2 has had some kind of fusion mechanic with its third legendary. I guess not third legendary in Calyrex's case, but, like, has had a fusion mechanic in its, like, expansion-y bit, you know? You do indeed go bah, 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 bah. No, yeah, that's fair, I do. I remember that one video that pretty quickly came out after Calyrex was announced, where, like, someone hit the back of its head with a stick and it just started screeching. I'll never forget that video. But yeah, I guess maybe a good way to do it would be, like, you can catch all 3 of the, ancient beasts. And all 3 of the ancient swords. And then you can fuse them yourself into, like, 1 creature each. Maybe Colress will return and be like, hey, I know you didn't ask for this, but, with this device you can fuse all 3 of those Pokemon. I whipped it out my ass, don't worry. I was thinking about this recently. Professor Oak. Like, he's kind of old. In, like, red and blue, yeah? The last time we've seen Professor Oak, like Professor Samuel Oak, was in 4th Gen, which, on the timeline, occurred at the same time as Gold and Silver, and Heart Gold and Soul Silver, which means, like, there is, like, a firm time in which we saw Oak last. What's Oak like in the present day? What's Oak like in Scarlet and Violet? I think it'd be really cool to see, like, an older Professor Oak, you know? Where he's, like, a proper old man now. But, like, still kind of got some of his wits about him, you know? as like I imagine. I feel like if they do bring him back, they're just gonna have him be Professor Oak again. I know it in my gut. But I want them to do something cool. Like, maybe he's in some cool high-tech wheelchair now or something. Professor Oak Urn edition. No! No, not Professor Oak Urn! No, don't do that. He does not deserve that. Spicy, salty, bitter, sour, long ago the four sources lived together in harmony? Eh? What? But yeah, I just want to, like, know what he's like in the modern day, you know? Well, not in the modern day, but, like, in the present Pokemon games. Because, like, the closest thing we've seen to him is Samson. I guess that would make Samson younger, canonically, as well. Because I guess also what I'm assuming there is the fact that Sword and Shield and then Scarlet and Violet by extension take place after Alola, when in reality the only Pokemon game that we can put on the timeline is probably Sun and Moon, because we know that takes place after X and Y, because Dexio and Cena appear in it. We also know it takes place after Black and White, because Grimsley appears in it and is a lot older, and Colress also. And then Colress references Getsis in the Rainbow Rocket event. But technically Sword and Shield... No, wait, Sword and Shield we can date via Type Null, because Sword and Shield have Type Null in it, which they supposedly got the blueprints from Aether, which means that it probably at least takes place at the same time as Sun and Moon, because Type Null was made a decent amount of time before Sun and Moon. Then there were a lot of tests and stuff run on it before Gladion stole it. Which I guess leaves the only outlier as Scarlet and Violet, so maybe in the DLC we'll be able to, like, place that at least somewhere on the timeline. Hopefully we get some old characters in the DLC. As in from, like, past games. Because, like, Sword and Shield had, like, a distinct lack of that. But I'm unsure if they're now, like, trying to go down this path where, like, the Legends games and stuff are going to be the games with, like, actual references to other, games of the franchise. And, the main series game will be, like, kind of low on references. Okay, so it stopped shuffling itself, the playlist has. And on top of that, why does the music pause specifically there every time? But yeah, you have a vibe. I vibe sometimes. Yeah, I want some old characters reappearing. I think it'd be cool if, like, the leader of Blueberry Academy was, like, a character we already knew. Oh yeah, let's just kind of made up for that in a way. No, yeah, exactly. Because it had, like... It was chock full of references. And it also was chock full of new lore, when you think about it. Because it explicitly confirmed that Bertha and Agatha, at least at some point, have a common ancestor. And then... Also, I think it kind of implied that Mars is at some point related to Silver and Ariana, right? Through, the girl who does the haircuts. You know who I mean. Can't remember her name, but yeah, you know. Eraser, exactly. Because her hairstyle, if you compare it to Mars's, it's not really exact. but the parts where it differentiates are like very close to Silver and Ariana's hairstyles. So I'd say that kind of draws a common ancestor between all of them. Although obviously Silver is probably Ariana's son. I don't know, I've talked about this before, but I'm going to talk about it again because I like this headcanon. And I headcanon that Mars is also Giovanni's daughter, but she went to Sinnoh, basically. Instead of staying in Johto Kanto area, like Silver did. Silver probably had to because he was younger. But Mars went over to Sinnoh and then got wrapped up in Team Galactic. Who knows? Maybe she wanted to make a new world because she wanted a better family than the one she had in the old one. I feel like they could have done interesting stuff with that, like, in Team Galactic. Because the Grunts' actions all feel just very, like, in servitude of, like, this greater goal that they don't fully understand in the grand scheme of things. But, like, I feel like if someone came along to organize a group to create a new world, a lot of people would be interested in that, because I feel like a lot of people would see it as, like, a fresh start type beat, you know? Like, I feel like they could have, like, made a lot deeper reasons, or at least, like, reference to deeper reasons in the Grunts and the Commanders for why they wanted to make a new world, but I feel like they never really did that. They were all just kind of like, "Mwahaha, we're evil, we're going to make a new world!" Like, Cyrus could have kept his motivation the exact same, but it would have been interesting to, like, see some of the Commanders and Grunts just acknowledge the fact that they're after this goal for a reason as well, you know? They're chasing this idea and following Cyrus, even though they're, like, committing bad deeds on the way, because they want to make this new world. But I feel like the game don't really do that, and that is sad. But yeah, that's just my hot take on Team Galactic. It would have been nice if we got, like, a proper Diamond and Pearl remake for that, but I guess we got the Faithful remake and the Abstract remake of the games. I wouldn't mind that though. Like if it continues kind of this way. I'd rather the Faithful if they continue with the Faithful remake idea, they play their cards differently next time. Because, like, I feel like they might. They probably will continue with, like, the whole Faithful remake idea. Because, like, Diamond and Pearl still sold very well. I think they're the best-selling remakes. Obviously, that's probably aided by the fact that they're on the Switch. But, like, I don't know, I just want something vaguely different for Black and White if they're going to remake Black and White again. Not again, but if they're going to remake Black and White. Like, I'd just be very down for, like, Director of Blueberry Academy, Sharon. That would be so cool. That would make so much sense. And, like, Roxanne could be, like, another teacher there as well. Maybe she's like the vice principal or something. That would be cool. And then another professor being there would also be pretty cool. Maybe like Sonia as well. Just like a very like star-studded cast. Where it like references the fact that it's like the greatest minds. Or like the teachers of the school to help hone their students' skills to the peak. I don't know, I wouldn't be surprised if they bring back Red and Blue again for it, honestly. Maybe just Blue on it. Wait, no. The issue is like, Blueberry Academy having Blue as the headmaster makes sense to us Western audiences, but of course, in Japan, Blue was green. A professor or two showing up or being referenced, exactly. More than just, I want more than just a picture like with Laventon, because that was like the only reference in the game, was a picture of Professor Laventon in the background. And I appreciated it. I was like, oh, it's Laventon, love that guy. But, like, we got nothing else after that. Like, after Laventon was there, never again. And that upsets me. Like, and I don't even, like, it wasn't even Laventon in, like, a new art style either. Like, it didn't look like Laventon in, like, the Scarlet Violet art style. It just looked like a screenshot from Legends Arceus put through a filter. And, like, that's, like, the other thing that vaguely annoys me about it. It's just the fact that, like, it's the one reference to a past game. Maybe not the one, I'm not sure. There might be others. But, like, it's, like, the biggest, most noticeable reference to a past game. But it's just a screenshot from said game. Although I will say, it's interesting seeing, like... Because, like, Scarlet and Violet obviously have, like, a very different art style at heart from the rest of the Pokemon games. But, like, a lot of their, like, not source material, like, promotional material, uses, like, the very classic Pokemon art style. So it's interesting seeing the protagonists look like, or be drawn in that way, in, like, proper cinematic, well, not cinematic, but, like, proper promotional art. Like, I didn't recognize them at first. Like, when I first saw, like, the, like, first DLC screenshot, I didn't realize it was them. I only realized it was, like, meant to be the protagonists of Scarlet and Violet in, like, the second one, when it looks a lot more like them because they have their hairstyles. But, like, before that, I was like, is that? I can't tell. The issue is, well, I wouldn't really call it an issue. But, like, it's certainly, like, something to note. And that is, like, Sword and Shield... Sword and Shield, the character outfits stand out, but I think the characters at core are very generic. And then in Scarlet and Violet, the protagonists just look generic. Because you're meant to be able to edit them to, like, your heart's content. And I guess that makes sense. I can't slate that all that much. Because, like, obviously the bigger focus is less on, like, the protagonists being necessarily, like, people. And more them just being the blank slate in which you paint yourself onto. But it makes promotional material very hard to recognize them with. Like, especially since, like, Sun and Moon does a good job at still having very recognizable protagonists. Zah, hello, how goes it? I hope your week's been going well. You heard, or have you seen the trailer for the new pack, the new Mario Kart Wave? There we go. Those are all the words. Because it looks like it is coming out next week. So I will either be doing... Yeah, I'll probably do a Mario Kart stream sooner than I would in the month normally. For that, because I am very, very excited for the new wave. Especially since the courses look a lot better in the new wave. I was talking about this earlier. But yeah, I'm interested to see what the protagonist of, like, the next game would look like, for example. Because I'm guessing that'd still be, like, decently generic. You love DS Mario Circuit. You think it's a great track. As our last DS track according to the leaks. Oh, that means we're not getting Airship Fortress or Luigi's Mansion. Oh. kind of bittersweet, that. Because Mario Circuit's going to be cool, but I was really hoping for Luigi's Mansion or Airship Fortress. Because those are banging tracks. But then again, I guess we had them both recently, so they're probably trying to prioritize, like, less adapted courses. At least I'd assume they are. I think your top 2 hopes are Toad Factory and Koopa Cape from Wii. Koopa Cape would be cool. Yeah, no, I definitely want... I think in terms of hopes, I'd say Luigi's Mansion and Wario Shipyard. I don't know why, but, like, Wario Shipyard is, like, one of the first courses that comes to mind when I think about Mario Kart. And I'd really like to see that adapted. Or not adapted, ported. Yeah, I would have preferred Airship Fortress, yeah. They don't know how likely Toad Factory is, since we got Mushroom Gorge. Oh, are they from the same cup? I mean, who knows? Hopefully we can. Or Yoshi Falls. I don't know. I know Yoshi Falls isn't that like the track, actually. But, especially since, like, Mario Kart DS was my first Mario Kart game. And obviously I ended up doing, like, that first course, or first, like, cup a lot. Which meant that it, like, kind of... me doing it that much made it me, like... imprint upon it. But yeah, it's kind of circle-ish. It's got, like, the, upper level with, like, a lot of item cubes and stuff, but then it's got this inner level with, like, occasional waterfall spread out, so, like, you can try to, stick on, like, that lower bit, but, you might get pushed down. Nah, Koopa Cape's next. That'd be cool. I'm still very down for Koopa Cape, because that's a very fun one. Although, would you rather they, would you rather they more closely adapt it to, like, the Wii version, or would you rather they use, some of the stuff from the 3DS? Because the 3DS kind of takes the lid off of that final tunnel to make it an underwater section. And I'm pretty sure I heard somewhere that there are some controversial views on that. I don't know, I haven't really played Wii much, so most of my experience with Koopa Cape is, the 3DS version. Because the Switch is honestly, like, my first home console that I, like, have put a lot of time into. I don't know what it is about them, but, like, I always ended up playing, like, the handheld, like, the DS and 3DS, like, a lot more. Like, when I was, I can't remember. It was like... I know it was my first Christmas after my parents told me the truth about Santa. But... I can't remember how old I was when that happened. But, like, obviously young. So, yeah, 17. No, yeah, I got an Xbox 360. And, like, I barely played on that thing. It was more or less only busted out when, like, I played with... when I played with friends. I don't know, I played the 3DS version of Koopa Cape the most, but what they could do is make the water section anti-gravity. Oh, that would also be cool. That would make sense, actually. Because it's got, like, a very anti-gravity feel anyway. So I think that would be, like, a logical way of incorporating that into it. Because I feel like they'd want to. Because they do like making anti-gravity sections. Would you guys like to see anti-gravity come back, like gliding? Or would you rather they just kind of like... I guess just scrapped it in the next game. I don't know, like, the issue is like, at this point, though, if we just keep on stacking mechanics on top of each other, like, by Mario Kart 12, we just wouldn't know what's going on. You think you never unlocked all the characters in Mario Kart Wii? I mean, I didn't either. But again, that's because I barely played it. I didn't in Mario Kart DS, though, because I never got Rob. Imagine they actually closed the tunnel back up and made it so you could go upside down. That would be really cool. I guess the question would be, like, how would they end it, though? Like, how would they... Because, like, at the end of that, that's that ramp up until like, the last stretch of the course. So, like, would you just fall off the ceiling? Dry Bowser and Rosalie Numis. Ah, fair. Nah, yeah, yeah, I never got Rob. You're saying you're not good at drawing pilot hats? That is fair. Trying to remember if pilot hats are the ones for, like, the poofy ones, or if I'm just thinking of captain hats. But yeah, practice makes perfect. As they say. So if I keep practicing, maybe I'll get this shiny Regice soon. Another interesting point I saw recently is, can't remember how much... Because I definitely thought about it earlier on in the stream, but I'm not sure if I talked about it properly. But, like... So, 6th year anniversary of the Nintendo Switch today. Which is whack. And obviously, like, people are assuming that the new console might be coming out in 2024. Because, like, that's when... Like, the Mario Kart DLC will be over by then. And... Again, the Switch is 6 years old at this point, so it makes sense for them to be bringing something new out. Like, the general theory on why we never got, like, a Switch Pro or anything is because of, COVID and then also, like, parts shortages. And that wouldn't surprise me at all. But I feel like we got to be getting a new console sooner rather than later at this point. And I saw some people were suggesting that maybe we'll get, like, a, the next, like, 3D Mario, and that'll be, like, the launch title. And I think that would make sense, because, like, Breath of the Wild was the launch title for, the Switch. So, damn, 6 years, time flies. Yeah, no, definitely. It's whack, because, I don't know, yeah, I got it year of release, but it just doesn't feel that old. Even though, like, it definitely was, because... I got the Switch for my birthday, which was, like, a couple of days after I finished GCSEs. Which was nice, because it meant I had finished my exams and could just play video games on the new console, which was fun. But I guess when you, like, get down to it... Yeah. Whatever it is, I hope the controllers don't have stick drift. Yeah, no, I think that's more or less as far as, I mentioned it earlier on, was just talking about drift. Because I went around to a friend's yesterday, and I played for, like, played Switch in handheld mode for, like, the longest time I had in ages. And fucking hell, my drift is so bad. It's so annoying. Oh yeah, people found out why Joy-Con drift is a thing. Apparently it's because of dust getting into the controller. Oh. Wait, I think... I can't remember. I know I removed, like, the thumb pad off of one of mine, but I can't remember if it actually fixed the drift or not. Like, I removed, like, the pad. But that is whack. But yeah, I really hope the next one doesn't have drift, because, like, I just kind of had to pick between drift and spending 60 quid basically every year on a new pair of controllers, when I could have been spending it on anything else. I feel like they've got to learn, right? Like, got to have learned from it, right? They can't just make the same mistake again, right? I'm Drew 1333, you missed it. Oh no! Don't worry, we can go back. We can go back if you want. I think you got yours around the time Smash Ultimate came out at the end of 2018. That's fair. No, yeah, I never really got Ultimate, but that was a good hype cycle. Like, I like, kept, like, a vague eye on the hype cycle, because, like, obviously the whole internet exploded whenever there was a new Smash Fighter announced, and also they were often announced in Nintendo Directs. Like, I think seeing Steve in Minecraft is still one of, like, the hypest moments I've borne witness to. Did I say Steve being in Minecraft? Or did I said Steve being in Minecraft, didn't I? I meant Steve being in Smash Bros. Like, that was a killer reveal, and honestly deserved. I know there's, like, a lot of controversy around how powerful he is, but I think it's at the least a deserved spot. And I'm happy that he actually got into it. Because it was always the memes. It was always like, I hope the next fight is Steve Minecraft. And then when Joker got announced for the DLC, everyone was like, wait. No, there's a chance, isn't there? And then it actually fucking happened. And then they finished the pack up with Byleth. I can't wait. I can't wait for the next Nintendo Direct, when at the end of it they announced Aaliyah as a free update for Smash Ultimate. Also, I wasn't super hyped for any of the DLC characters, only Banjo. That's understandable. I mean, at day's end, like, everybody's gonna have, like, a different amount of investment in different media. But I just like the fact that Smash Bros, especially Ultimate, has become more of a celebration of gaming in general. As it's been, like, adding characters from outside of Nintendo IPs. And I think if, like, any character deserved to be a frontrunner in that, Steve Minecraft makes sense. Because Minecraft, at this point, is one of the most iconic games. Whether you like it or not. Like, extremely iconic. I feel like you'd be hard-pressed to find anybody who hadn't played Minecraft, like, once nowadays. Still can't believe they got Sora. Yeah, no, that was crazy. I love that. Like, that's one of the reasons I liked the hype cycle. Like, I've had no interest in fighting games, but, like, seeing the fact that they managed to pull off getting some of those characters in, absolutely crazy. And Sora was definitely a really good final character. I'm interested to see what, like, the next one would be like, though. Honestly, I saw an interesting point recently, like, at some point there's going to be a Smash Bros. Game not directed by Sakurai. And it's going to be interesting to see how that pans out. Because, like, I think whether you've realized it or not, like, whether you noticed it or not, but, like, obviously, like, a director of a video game has a lot of impact on, like, how the final thing comes out. So, Smash Bros. Without Sakurai, I think, is going to be a different creature. Who knows? Maybe maybe once Sakurai is no longer at the helm of Smash Bros, we'll finally get Goku. And Shrek. I still need to watch Sakurai's YouTube videos. Because, like, he's got a YouTube channel now where he talks about game development, and, like... That's some interesting stuff. I watched the first one. To be honest, they probably could have gotten away with Waluigi as the last character. You know, if... you know, if we didn't make Sakurai hate the guy. That's fair. I think that also would have made the internet explode. I feel like we do need more, like, Mario and Zelda characters in Smash Bros, though. Like... maybe I'm just saying this because I'm a fan of the franchise, so obviously I have this opinion. But I feel like it makes sense why there's the amount of Fire Emblem characters in Smash Bros as there is. I think it's more just weird how little the other franchises have representation in it, you know? Like... yeah, Fire Emblem is, like, an IP that Nintendo obviously care about a lot. So it makes sense that they'd have, like, a lot of protagonists in their fighting games to, like, help promote the series and celebrate the franchise. Zelda and Mario are much more beloved. Zelda has, like, 3 different variants of Link. 2 of Zelda and Ganon. Like, there's no, like, Tingle, no Beetle. I'm sure people would love it if, like, Skull Kid was in it. Especially if he ends up with, like, a big role in, Tears of the Kingdom. I think Sidon could be, like, a good fit. And Sonic only has 1 rep. That is also true. But, to be fair, Sonic only, got in, like, Wii, right? I guess that's a while ago now, then, again. I'm surprised there's not even, like, Shadow at this point. Is there? I don't think so. I might be being dumb. Was he an Echo? I don't think he was in it. But yeah, no, like... yeah, I feel like a lot of, like, iconic franchises could... they need more reps, more than Fire Emblem necessarily needing less. I can see why people do want less Fire Emblem characters, but, like... I think... Fire Emblem is obviously, like, a franchise Nintendo and then a lot of people care a lot about. Although it would be nice to have less sword fighters in the game. Because, like, I don't know, that's my issue. Is it's just, like, all the sword lords. And to be fair, all the lords do have swords. But, I don't know, you could have, like, Hector with an axe. You think the more the merrier, yeah. Add Snake from Snake to Smash. Honestly, huge. And Pong. You know, in Sun and Moon you could press a button and it would boot you back to the title screen. Does it not work in this game? It does not. There is no soft reset button, which means you have to go through all the really long loading screens. Because these games are really well optimized. And spend ages loading. There's not even, like, a keypad shortcut to deleting the game data. In this one, you have to, like, go into Switch game data to delete it, which surprised me. Like, I was really confused as to how you delete the data, and nope, you just have to go into, like, the save data logs and delete it there. At 3 houses, Felix next. Oh no. Sounds like they put a lot of effort into this. People slate Scarlet and Violet for coming out with a lot of bugs. But these games had more. Like, I don't know, I don't hate these as much as the next guy. As in, Brilliant Diamond Shining Pearl. Like, I think they serve fine as, like, remakes of the franchise and, like, a nice experience of classic Pokemon, especially now, like, on the Switch. We're seeing a huge shift in how the franchise is made and, like, a lot of the ethos behind it. Like, it feels like catching all the Pokemon in the game is a much bigger part of the games nowadays than it ever was. In, I'd say even Red and Blue, honestly. Like, Red and Blue went around being like, gotta catch them all! But, I feel like that essence is a lot more well represented in Scarlet and Violet than it was in Red and Blue. And I think that's probably due to the removal of random encounters. Like, being able to see the Pokemon in the overworld really helps make you want to catch them all, because you know what's in each area now. And when running past a Pokemon, if you're like, oh, I've not caught that guy yet, you can just catch it. Like, Scarlet and Violet, I think, is my second quickest completed dex. The first being Legends Arceus. Not gonna lie, the only games you really played were Ultra Moon, and you really liked it though. Honestly, yeah, no, I finished a Nuzlocke of Ultra Moon the other week. And yeah, no, Ultra Sun and Moon, easily my favorite games. I mean, maybe not so easily anymore, because I really like Scarlet and Violet on Legends. But like, at least for a long time they held that title uncontended. Like, people always point to Black and White 2 as, like, games with, like, the most features and stuff. And Black and White 2 have a lot of nice things in them, but Sun and Moon just has, like, loads of little small world details with little events and stuff that you can participate in. Like, and events that last months after you've beaten the game as well. Like, so, of course, after you've, like, beaten How at the championship, if you go back in after, you can then fight other trainers who are coming up for the champion, or for the champion title, which I think is a really cool feature. But exactly a month after you've beaten the game, after you've seen the credits roll, Gladion comes back from Kanto, and then you can fight him. And I'm pretty sure after you've fought him, or maybe just after he's come back, there's like a scene where Moan visits the Aether Foundation, Aether Paradise. Of course, Moan being Lucamine's dead husband. And there are just loads of little things like that in the games that I think really bring them life. And I think really help, not help disprove, because clearly it didn't, but like, show that the 3DS games are as good as the DS games, I'd say. Because, like, I think a lot of, like, the whole DS is where Pokemon peaked is fueled by nostalgia. Alright, I'm gonna go to the toilet quickly, but I will be right back. So make sure to stay tuned. And we are back. Alright. But yeah, my cat played herself the other day. She also played me, to be completely fair. But, like, she did not have a good experience from it either. Because she threw up on my bed. Which wasn't that nice. Not really a fan of it when the cat throws up on my bed. Because obviously I have to change the covers. But she doesn't like it when I change the covers. Which meant that yesterday I found her sleeping on various places of the floor. Because she was upset at the fact that I changed the covers. When in reality, if she hadn't thrown up on the bed, the covers wouldn't have been changed. Saying that loudly because she's still in the room right now. She was sleeping on the pillow today, though, so I guess she has overcome the grievance she had with the cover change, but... But yeah, we'll be changing our food soon. Oh, I just realised. We'll be getting to spring soon. I wonder if we'll have, the classic event of my cat bringing a mouse into my room while streaming. Which has happened on a couple of occasions. A couple of occasions, I've not managed to get the thing off of her. I fear that somewhere in this room is a dead mouse. Maybe even multiple. Hopefully not more than 2. Hopefully not more than 1, honestly. But there might be a dead mouse. Like, there was one she caught and it was downstairs. And, we, couldn't catch it. And we just kind of left the door open for like a couple of days when we were downstairs, obviously. We did not just leave it wide open constantly. But we left the door open for a couple of days in hopes that it would find its way out. But Dad found a mouse corpse under the fridge a few weeks ago. So I guess that answers that story. But it makes me think that maybe the mouse never escaped my room either. If it happens again on stream, I think that's enough time to make it a tradition. I feel like tradition is not a word I want to use about my cat bringing a dead mouse into my... Not even a dead mouse. I don't know why I'm saying dead. My cat bringing a mouse into the room. Because they're alive most of the time. So of course they are. Yeah, we're talking shit about you, Missy. But I guess that's part of the territory of having cats. Especially a cat who... Yeah. Really? She is sitting at the edge of my desk, staring at me now. I get the hunch she wants me to pat her on the head, and I guess I will oblige by that. No reason to deny that request, because she is quite soft. Alright. So we're in March already. Because that means that we only have to wait another 8 months until the new Doctor Who. And I don't know if you guys heard, but David Tennant's coming back. David Tennant's going to be the Doctor in the next few episodes. Before he regenerates again into Tutti. So that's going to be pretty hype. I'm looking forward to seeing that. I don't know if we've got any other Doctor Who fans in chat, but I'd say it'd be a good jumping on point for the series again. If you watched during Tennant era. Although I will stand by Peter Capaldi as my favourite Doctor at the moment. Love that guy. Alright. I'm going to take another cookie for now, I think. Hungry. Who doesn't love a good cookie? What are your guys' favorite kind of cookies? That's my question. Chocolate chip, hell yeah. What kind of chocolate though? What kind of chocolate do you guys like most? Because I've always been a big white chocolate fan. Milk, that's fair, that's the classic. Oh, okay. You're saying a brand. Yeah, no, white chocolate slaps. I'd say my tier is probably white, dark, milk. And then any of the above, but nuts in them. I'm not a fan of nutty chocolate. Honestly, haunted by nutty bread more. Bread with a bunch of nuts and seeds in it. I vividly remember once trying to eat a slice of bread like that and just retching. And almost throwing it up. Disgusting. Why is that a thing? When I eat bread for the dough. Not because I want to be a bird and eat a bunch of seeds. Vile stuff. A disgrace to bread. If it's not more than 50% bread, shouldn't even have the title. Undeserved. Sorry, my cat is nosing around my curtains. I think she wishes to hop up onto the windowsill and look outside. Wistfully. She does that often. Oh yeah, Finicky, if you started the Wind Bloom event yet. Right. Not sure if we'll get to 1,400 today, but yeah, I doubt it. I don't know, that's the issue with BDSP is resets are really slow because these games are really slow. And I guess I'll have to go through this again at some point when I want to get Arceus. Because I do want that shiny Arceus. Although I did hold a shiny Arceus once before, because the action replay on Black and White, I think it was only in Pokemon White version, you could hack in a shiny Arceus with the ability Wonder Guard that was called Master Chief, for whatever reason. But, although I had a black version, I had a friend with an action replay who hit me up with one of them. Dude, action replays were so cool. Did you guys ever have action replays with your DSs? Because, like, it's funny because... So my first action replay experience was with my cousins. But, then my dad got one. Because, like... My dad also played on the DS often. Like, I think at first they probably, like my mum and dad probably picked one up to, like, connect with me more because I was fucking obsessed with the thing. But then they, like, slowly realized, oh, wait a minute, there are a bunch of really good games on this. But my dad got an action replay to use, which was wild. By the way, you only today found out why it's 07 when something bad happens, because it looks like someone's saluting, exactly. And also, when, me and my mates play on Minecraft servers and stuff, we often, do, like, O/ in, like, the Minecraft chat, because it looks like someone, like, waving. It looks like someone going, hello! And I enjoyed that greatly. Just a lovely little emote. Honestly, I see why they made, like, emojis an actual thing. But, there's something more satisfying about text-based emotes to me. I'm not sure why, but, like, text-based emotes have always held my heart a lot more than, regular emojis. They're just fun. Yo, that guy's got his hands in the air. I like the shrugging one as well. I enjoy it greatly. Also the Lenny face. That's a classic, honestly. A classic text-based emote. Did you guys ever get one of those apps that, like, changed your font on your iPhone? I'm guessing they're still around now, to be fair. But, like, you could get, like, different fonts for your text messages and stuff. Obviously, like, it's not all that good to use, like, online and stuff, because it's hell for, like, text-to-speech. So, like, hard for, like, blind people to use. So I wouldn't recommend using it unless you're, like, talking with friends. But I remember that shit, that was whack. It's like, I never realized that you could, like, do that. Get that with, on a phone. Like, I would have assumed that, like, oh, it's just, like, a thing that you get. And then you can see it, like, how other people with the... You can see when other people with the app, like, do that. But, like, no, it was just universal. Which was bonkers. Alright. Ba-ba-ba-da-da. 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 You know how it is. Alright. What movies are coming out in, like, the second half of the year? Because, like, Mario movies are, like, the first half. And I know Spider-Verse is, like, July. That Pixar film? I don't know. I know there's that new, like, Pixar film that's, like, Lava Boy and Water Girl, but it's Lava Girl and Water Boy. I know, like, nothing about it, except it's got, like... It's, like, a romance between, like, a fire guy and a water guy and a fire lady. Like, literally, like, that's what they're made out of. I'm interested to see, because, like, obviously, like, that's going to be, like, it's a Pixar film, so odds are it'll be, like, a kid's movie. Because, like, that's what they do. But it'd be interesting to just see them have, like, a go at just a classic romance. You know? Like, I feel like there's going to be some kind of driving force behind a plot there. But it'd be interesting to just see, like, an animated romance that isn't an anime. But I doubt we'll get it from Pixar. Because kids won't like romances. I can hear the executive saying it right now. Right. Yo, ton of forest. I can't wait to get confused when the song cuts off instead of ending normally, because I always do. Right. Boom, boom. Good song. Right. Oh, right, yeah. Have you guys heard that, Scarlet Violet's save data is getting corrupted? The general theory is it's something to do with Vivian. The Vivian transfers, but there have been reports of other people getting their save data corrupted as well. So, like, be careful. I thought it was Pokemon Go related. I mean, yeah, but basically, like, the main theory is it is Pokemon Go related. That, like, connecting Go and the Switch with the Vivian is what triggers it. But apparently some people have, like, reported losing save data without doing that. So I am a little bit scared to play the game at the moment. Because I don't want to lose my shit. Pokemon number 666 for a reason, I guess. Quite. I always forget about that. I find it funny that they made, like, a special Pokemon for 1000, but they didn't even try to, like, do any kind of, like, interesting nod for 666. They were just like, Butterfly. Although, is 666 any much of a, foul number in Japan? Because, like, at day's end, the Pokemon Company is a Japanese company. So, like, I know, like, obviously, like, Thought is sometimes considered unlucky in, like, China and stuff. So I feel like that's closer enough to Japan for, like, that to spread over. But I guess it's not all that surprising that 666 doesn't. Although I guess I can't say for certain that there's no connection there. But it's a satanic number, so I'm guessing it probably is, like, at least has, like, Western origin. Alright. But yeah, no, not good stuff, at least. I do hope that there is a patch for that soon. Because patches have not been common. 4 in China because it's pronounced similarly to the character for death. Yeah, exactly. So, in China, you know how, like, in America, they often skip the 13th floor? In China, they sometimes skip the 4th. Which is an interesting, like... It's interesting to see how unluckiness in numbers is universal like that. Like, it's interesting to see how some human traits are human. Innately human. To the point where we see different concepts. Not different concepts, similar concepts manifest in similar ways. In different cultures. Shit's cool. I don't know, does anybody in chat have, like, that aversion to the number 13? Or 4? I don't know. 13, like... I'm fine with 13, but I feel like if something bad happens on a day with 13 in it, I'd be like, that's why that happened. Like, don't want to be superstitious, but I kind of just ended up being superstitious. Without even, like, consciously trying. Like, I end up, like, acting in ways to please karma. Even though I don't really believe in karma. I guess there's, like, worse things to act for. Because obviously that means that I do often try to, like, do good things. But it's interesting because, like, logically I don't believe in it. But, like, subconsciously I do. Which, it's weird. Brain works in bizarre ways, innit? Alright. Right. I'm gonna take a drink quickly. You guys make sure you're all staying hydrated as well. Hydration is very important, as they say, as I say, because it is. Gotta keep healthy, innit? The more you piss, the better you are. I don't know, it's funny, because when I was younger, I had, like, a huge aversion to public toilets. To the point when I was, like, in reception, apparently once I came out of school and took, like, a 10-minute long piss. Because I'd been holding it in the whole day. I was absolutely busting by the end of the day. So I just ended up doing one of the longest pisses known to man. Which was interesting for observers. I don't really remember it, but relatable, same. Glad this is a universal thing. I don't know, I've become better at it in recent years. Like when I was employed, when I was working retail, more or less like, at least like once a day, basically, I managed to sync my bowels with my work hours. So, I got a nice extra 15-minute break as I took a dump. Because as we all know, boss makes $1, I make a dime. That's why I shit on company time. Real. It is. It gets real when the toilets are clogged. I remember when, like that place had really bad issues with toilets. Like, it was fine for, like, a lot of the time. But, like... there was a point where, like, both of the toilets ended up being put out of order. So the only working toilet was the disabled toilet. And then, all of a sudden, like, I got into work one morning, and there was just, like, a staff-only sign put over the disabled, like, thing. And then, like, a few days later, when it was still not fixed, I think it wasn't fixed by the time I quit. But, like, a lady got really annoyed at me for us not having any toilets. For all the toilets being out of order and the one working toilet being staff only. I was like, okay, I don't control this. I have no say in this matter. But I do have shit in this matter. Boss makes $1, I make a dime. I clogged all the toilets to waste your time. That is someone's logo at that slogan at that place. By the looks of it. God, I hated that place. It's funny because it had escalators up to the second floor. No normal stairs. It was like the stairs or the lift. And it was funny because sometimes the escalators just broke, and it was a very often thing. And I'm not sure if it just is often that escalators break, or if it just had really shit escalators. Like, I don't really know how often escalators do break, but it felt like there was a noticeable percentage of my time working there where the escalators did not work. And they were just stairs. The place had a lot of issues. TDLR. I need to make sure I never mention the name of this place, because if this gets back to me, I don't want to face, like... I don't want to get in any trouble. Like, I don't care about talking shit about the place, logistically. I just don't know if I can get, like, sued. Because, like, I know the Odd Ones Out always called his, like, Subway videos, like, Suwabway. To make it legally distinct. And I'm not sure if that was just a joke. Or if it was a joke, like, an actually, like... serious thing he did to make sure that he couldn't, like, get in any legal trouble. Because although it sounds like Subway, he can just play it off as, oh, it was a joke. I made it sound like Subway for the bit, but it's actually somewhere else I worked. Copyright reasons, yeah. I mean, is it copyright reasons? Because, like... I don't know, I feel like copyright reasons aren't the reason you're, like, disguising the name of the company you worked at. We never know what's in the contract. Better stay on the safe side. That's a fair point. I think did I read most of my contract? I'm pretty sure I read my contract when I got it. I don't know. While I don't like reading, especially when it comes to, like, contracts and shit, I do make sure to, like, read it. Like, when they put overtime on my thing, and I got annoyed about it. the manager was like, well, on your contract it says that we are able to, and I read the contract, and it very much phrased it like, did I have a section about mentioning employment under a VTuber persona? That is a fair point. I mean, I guess that's what the Odd Ones Out was doing, though, as well. But yeah, no, the contract very much phrased it like we would be asked for overtime, and the time that we maybe have to, like, do mandatory overtime is, like, stock check. But other than that, there was no implication of mandatory overtime. That they could just put on my thing whenever they wanted, so... It was silly. I ain't being gaslit by no managers. Maybe if I get a toxic manager again, I should gaslight them. Because that would be funny, you know? Honestly, best case scenario, though, I just don't get another toxic manager. Missy had an opinion on that. I'm not sure if you heard it. I think she mumbled. I'm trying to figure out if she's, like, gonna loop back around and start scrounging. Because, like, whenever I have cookies at my desk, of course some crumbs fall onto the floor. And Missy, being a cat, just starts scrounging around on the floor for them. Just sniffing around, just like, crumbs? Crumbs? Are there crumbs? But sometimes, like, it just won't be a crumb that she eats. Like, I'll see a bit of fluff on the floor from, like, one of my socks or something. And then she'll sniff that for a moment and then eat it. And I'm like, cat, no. I could probably put, like, rat poison pellets down and she'd eat them. Like, if they were specifically by my desk. I guess I've got to make sure not to do that. Because she would eat them. Do you think if you had, like, one rat poison pellet a day, you could eventually build up a resistance? Like, do you think if you, like, made it, like, a daily occurrence of, like, eating, like, one rat poison pellet, and then, like, the next day, like, 2, and then the next day, like, 3, not days, sorry, like, year. You'd have to do it over a lot longer of a span, I'm sure. Resistance to having friends, sure. I mean, if you do it without them knowing, you know. If you secretly, say, had bought rat pellets about 7 months ago and had been eating one a day every morning. Like, how would they know? Like, I don't think they would. Hypothetically, of course. But, like, how long would that have to go on until you can build, like, a full resistance to rat poison? I think that would be an interesting experiment. I think, what, like, YouTuber would do that? Vsauce Michael, maybe? No, I don't think he'd do it himself, actually. What am I talking about? Vsauce Michael would, like, do a video on whether it would work, like, hypothetically. I feel like William Osman. Turns out it's got a word. Mithridatism. What, building up, like, a resistance to poison, or rat poison specifically? I'm guessing it's just poison in general, because I know you can do that, but, like, I'm talking rat poison here, because, rat poison. It just looks satisfying. Now, rat poison's open. Feel free to coin that term yourself. Nice. I'll have to do it after I'm immune to rat poison, though. Because that means if I, like, ever see, like, rat poison on the ground, I can eat it, you know? Like, imagine how funny it would be if, like, every time I saw, like, a trap to, like, catch rats, I just ate all the rat poison in it. Like me. And then they'd be like, there's someone going around eating the rat poison. We think it's the rats, but there are still rats around. So... yeah, we had a rat issue for a bit, because we used to have chickens here at my house. And, obviously we had, like, a big, like, container of chicken feed. And the rats like that. Your efforts to turn into a Florida man are admirable, but unwanted. If I now want to do it, but I'm not going to do it to a neighborhood. I'm going to do it to Kite specifically. I'm going to do it and prepare. So one day when Kite has a rat issue, I eat all of his rat poison. And I don't just mean, like, out of, like, the tubes and stuff. I mean, if he gets, like, a pack of rat poison, he'll, like, open it the next day and just find it empty. And be like, what? How did this happen? Because it'll be in about 30 years, and he won't have remembered this conversation. And it'll be funny. Absolutely hilarious, I'm sure. Alright. I dare say that this shall be our last encounter for the night. Because I do like ending on nice round numbers. And 1,380 is a nice round number. Look at that. You'll love to see it. And that will be where I end the hunt for today, I think. Have done good going, I would say, but as previously mentioned, I got like 2 shinies yesterday, so I really didn't expect to get this one today. But yeah, thank you all for coming. This one has been fun. I have had fun. It has been good and cool and enjoyable, and I also enjoyed my cookies, which were also good. But yeah, tomorrow I'll be continuing on with Pokemon Ranger, where we will be finding an old man in a forest, I think, was the dub this time. Which is a bit of a step down from, like, saving a cave, but yeah, I do hope to see you there, so that'll be happening at 7:20 PM GMT. And then on Monday will be more shiny hunting, because obviously I sought my raid and shiny hunting stream around this week, so we'll be shiny hunting again. I don't know what we'll be shiny hunting, it'll be Regice or something else, but I would highly recommend tuning in. But yeah, I hope you all have a great rest of your weekends, and I will see you all tomorrow. Goodbye and good night.